Hi guys, welcome back to another forecast and projections. This is for our full moon that will take place on November 8th. It will be in zodiac sign Taurus. So this could affect our neck. I feel like the back of our neck, so I feel like you're maybe a little bit of stress, vocal cords, throat, thyroid gland. So I know with myself with my allergies, I know with both the things that I do, healing and my job, it's like using my vocals. Funny enough, they used to call me chatterbox when I was younger as a child. And it's like, because I would always talk and disrupt the class, but it's like, that's something, my gift to gab has actually been my gifts. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, sometimes what people think are a bad quality may be actually your gifts in life. So this will be a lunar eclipse. So we have a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. So as I'm filming this, the new moon will take place on Tuesday, I believe. I'll have to go back to the calendar. And then we'll, fast forward to November 8th. We get into this, very calm. They're saying chi energy of Taurus, calmness, We have our really calm skeletons here. Definitely, I feel meditation with this. So your safety depends on the need of stability. So I feel like in our head, sometimes we get triggered from our past. I was just talking about this with my girlfriend. She actually went to a party with her son, and this is something we talked about. The things from our childhood have bled over into our adulthood. So we have to sit there and calm that inner child of us as saying, you know what? We get up every day and we fight hard and strong. And even when we're dog tired, we still drag our butt in there. Like, I had the worst headache. I sneezed so hard before my shift. It was like my Friday. And I sneezed so hard, I got the worst headache, like literally 5 minutes before I started. And it's like, what can I do? I didn't have enough time to run and get a Tylenol or anything like that. I had to work like that. You know what I mean? And it sucks, but it's just like, you know what? It's like, if I don't sit there and do that, I feel that insecurity. Even with the abundance that I have in my life, I still feel insecure. And I feel like even if I had $1 billion in my account, the type of heart that I have that I give to others, I would still feel insecure. I would still feel like I needed to do something to, one, be in a routine where I feel like satisfied with my day. And two, it's just like, is there something coming in? You know what I mean? So like investments and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of people that have gone through that do have that, kind of bleed over into their adulthood, which is not easy to satisfy now. You have to learn to accept change as a part of your life. Definitely with myself, and I'm not sure if anyone that is, maybe you are a Taurus and you were affected by Venus being in conflict with Pluto. Last week, Libra was in conflict with Pluto, and then all of a sudden it was Venus. I'm like, give me a break. I definitely felt this conflict. I know change is happening. I felt very uncomfortable. I felt very pissed off, um, dissatisfied. You know what I mean? Uh, Let down. But it's just like, I also have to understand not everybody works the way that I do. Not everybody is who I am. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I gotta take that emotion out. It's like, where is this actually coming from? I know I was tired and run down. I know that for a fact, but it's just like, sometimes we go through those cycles. The basic problem is finding your own self respect in order to ensure that you do not mistakenly seek in the material things. So sometimes we use material things as a soother. I'm going to sit there and do this or buy this and it will give me happiness for 10 minutes. But it's just like, I'm seeing this one girl, and God bless her, I love her so much. I can't remember. I think it's like Can't Cancel Me or something like that. I like her a lot. And one thing that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, we work so hard, and when we see something that gives us a little, like, I say that about, I only buy when it's on sale, but it's like, I'm going to say it wrong. Bath and Body Works, they have the most beautiful soaps. It's like a foaming soap, and the black cherry melody is my favorite, and it works as an air freshener. I kid you not, an air freshener and a soap. because I swear to you, I get to the middle of my stairs, walking upstairs, and I can smell it, and it's just like that. You don't realize how smell really does affect your mood, and it's just like just smelling that puts it just is like like one of my favorite smells. I love cherries. Period. I always like cherry ice cream is one of my favorites. It's just the Malasolo. I'm gonna say around the Malasolo cherries. I love them, but I choke on it. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me cough. When you accept yourself as who you are, it will become easier if you find peace and tranquility on the outside world. They were actually showing with energy oracle cards. I was pulled to a lot of decks. Um, and one of the things, and I would actually did a reading on Thursday, and this is something that came out in her reading, but it was like self love, the Rose Court, and I feel like, like Deborah Silverman was so sweet to sit there and say like, carry a clear quartz with you like last week, so that way it could like clear your energy. But Angel of Love, this is a channel card. You know what I mean? It's like sit there and give yourself love. And that's one thing she said. Like a lot of people will say that money does not buy happiness. It doesn't. I can tell you that for a fact. But the thing is, it's like when you buy certain things, like there's certain things in my life that I can look at, it gives me happiness. You know what I mean? Does it make my life? No. My children, my faith, that's what brings me life. Like me and my mom going to walks on the beach with the dog, that gives me life. You know what I mean? Like it's just something about the sun and like to listen to the waves and just like the smells and everything around you. It's just such a peaceful, calm thing. It feels like you're walking on a treadmill, but you forget about like, we're there for the purpose of working out, but you forget about that because you're in such peace. You know what I mean? And my mom was like, that's one of my favorite things to do is like sit outside. I just literally said that to her. I was like, I wanted to so badly to grab a chair and just sit outside and enjoy, just sit outside with the dog. But I know he's going to bark at every car that goes by and everything. And all the birds were out. It's just so beautiful. You know what I mean? But it's just like simple pleasures in life. You know what I mean? It may not mean a lot to a lot of people, but it's like simple pleasures in like life like that. That was one of my favorite things to do is sit there, get up in the morning, make a pot of coffee, and go put out. I'm the type of person that puts my stuff away because we didn't come up with a lot of money. So anytime I buy something, I take the most care of it, and it upsets me when it gets ruined. So I put it away. So I go out and I set up the chairs and everything, and I go out there and just like to sit there and listen to the birds and hear the wind blow gently through the trees, and you hear the leaves rustle. It's just one of the most beautiful feelings. And I told the kids, I'm like, you need to start going out because I said, trust me, winter will be here sooner than you think, and it's going to be a cold, cold ass winter. So let's enjoy the outdoors while we can, because the sea. You can definitely, that last storm that we had took like all the foliage down. It's like, you know what I mean. And we're getting into those days where it's going to be grayer more. You know what I mean. And you look at those bare trees, but it's like rest and rejuvenation. You know what I mean. So it's just like, find the simple pleasures in life. Find the things that give you that happiness. So they're telling us, like again, to watch our vocals. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's also how we speak. You know what I mean? How we speak to ourselves is very important. We're always there to give people sound advice. We're always there to sit there and cheer people up. Are you doing that for yourself? Are you sitting there and giving yourself sound advice? Are you encouraging yourself? We encourage our partners, we encourage our children, we encourage our coworkers, whoever we come across, we encourage them. Like I came across someone and he was going for a job interview and he's like, I can't remember what he said, but it was kind of like downing himself. I'm like, no, man. I'm like, change that. I'm like, you're going to get this. I said, you're going to kill it. And he's like, thank you. I'm like, yes, absolutely. I said, you're going to kill it. You're going to go in there and knock their socks off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, busting it up. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, be confident in yourself. There's a reason why they called you in there. So sit there and be confident in yourself. You know what you bring to the table. You wouldn't apply to this job if you didn't think you didn't have what it takes. You know what I mean? So it's like, believe in yourself. So we're going to get into a Chinese oracle here. They were showing Shen. You know what I mean? And when we go into our channel messages, when they mentioned Shen, if they were talking about connecting with Gaia, with Creator, the universe, you know what I mean? Being connected to Spirit. The one, God, Gaia, Earth, Mother Earth, Life Force, Light Force. You know what I mean? So it's like that reconnection. And I mentioned when I got my shawl, like I definitely felt that connection. Like I was so infuriated. I came home on a Friday night, put away the groceries, certain situations that infuriate me. I try not to sit there and give energy to things that I know are not going to change. You know what I mean? It's like, why waste your time? Why sit there and get all agitated for no reason? Raise your blood pressure for no reason. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's like give your energy to things that deserve your energy. You know what I mean? But it's like the great and origin power. All the things own and their beginning, and containing all the meaning belonging to the name of heaven, the cloud movement, the rain. I feel like, especially just looking at the three, I feel very Aquarius. I feel water. You know what I mean? I feel like going with the flow. And I definitely feel like that came out in the channel messages. And it's just like, we felt, I'm sure a lot of us felt this, where it's like we felt uneasy, like we felt irritated. You know what I mean? While this change was happening. And I feel like this is because it's going to be part of our course as we move forward. And it's just like something was happening on the outside world to happen for it to come into our path. So it's just like this had to change. One of the channeled things they were showing me, and these channeled deck, a lot of these decks were channeled. Okay, Sonny. Was with the Moonology, is this deck right here, and they were showing specifically Gemini. They were just like, and I was just like, I picked it up. They showed the green moon and they showed Gemini. And Gemini actually came out. And I was just like, I knew that Gemini was going to come out. But it's like specifically Gemini. I feel like with the twins, in that sense, I feel like it's yourself as you are now and your inner self, that child inside of you. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's like nurturing that inner child so the two of you can connect on that level. I feel like healing that inner child so you guys can become one. You know what I mean? Like me and my girlfriend were talking about this. Like I talk to myself and encourage myself. I'm like, well, who else is going to do it? We always hear, this and that, go back to our voice. You know what I mean? Because there is a card that says, show the world the real you. So I feel like someone is going in the spotlight more. I feel like either your TikTok, your YouTube, or maybe all your social medias, but I definitely feel like in a way of a YouTube where it's like a world audience. TikTok is a world audience as well. But I feel like I don't know. I just see it like, we're watching this on YouTube. Maybe someone reposts it. I'm not sure. But it's just like show the world the real you. Don't be this fake and phony or what you think you should be. Like that's one reason I have not signed on with with anyone is because I'm not going to stifle who I am. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to sit there and work on my Shabbat time. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm not going to change who I am and how I operate for the sake of a dollar and fame. You know what I mean? It's like whoever wants to do that, all salute to you. You do it you. But at the end of the day, I know when God decides that it's time to go be reborn, it's like this ain't gonna matter. You know what I mean? I ain't taking none of it with me. When I go, it's like I transform into my spirit self. None of this is mine anymore. And I'll be able to see everything that I did and didn't do and things I should have changed or where I acted like a fool and I should have corrected myself. You know what I mean? It's like you will see that whole picture and it's like I want to love what I see and not be like, ooh, I regret this or I wish I would have said that or I wish I would have changed. I'm still going to say those things, but being on a higher self now and educated more and grown more in maturity and gaining wisdom on my journey, it's like you want to sit there and look at something that you're going to love. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're going to see, maybe you're a narcissist. Maybe you're going to sit there and be like, but look where I got. I stepped on this one and that one. I sacrificed them so I can get here. And now, at least I got there. And it's like, it just depends who you are and what you want to see. So with Shen, we talk about change and transform. So everything obtains its correct nature as appointed by the mind of heaven. And that's what I feel like. This change and transition has happened. And I definitely felt this conflict. I am a Libra and it's ruled by Venus. So with it being and the crazy thing is I've always been drawn to the planet of Pluto. Everyone's going to be like, it's not a planet anymore. It's a dwarf planet or it's this or it's that. I don't care. It's a planet to me. you know, I feel like it's just like it was just like this conflicting. I just it was just was not a good week. But it's like, you know what? I got through it. That's all that matters. I'm so into the House of Dragons, and I read this, and I'm like, I have to share this. It's just, I think it's beautiful. I don't feel like dragons are evil. I've always been drawn to dragons, and I feel like, you know, they get a bad reputation. They're in the Bible, they're in the Torah. Like, you know, dragons are absolute, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm so drawn to them. It's crazy. It's like, I've always been drawn to them. I'm sure anyone that appreciates them will even speak to that. So, the sage granting understanding the connection between the end and the beginning, and how the interconnections of the six lines, this dog, and the hexagram are accomplished, each in its season, according to the amount of the carriage drawn by the six dragons at the proper time, and drive through the sky. You know, because we talk about heaven being that close. I've always had, and I'm sure a lot of you could attest to that dream where you fly. You know, you just start. I just run and I just take off and I start flying, and it's just such an amazing feeling. You know, like to see those stars, and I'm like, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, how cool would that to take? You know, and I'm sure a lot of people that take a red eye are like cursing me, but it's like to take a red eye on a full moon. Like, how amazing would that be to get to capture those pictures? Like, what would that look like? You know, so it's like always been drawn to the sky and the stars in that kind of sense. Maybe it sounds crazy to some people, but I don't really care. It's just, you know what I mean? I just feel like elevation. I definitely been getting a lot of elevation with lately, but I definitely feel like that change, transformation is happening last week. You know what I mean? I feel like the air is lighter, but I still get this anxiety. You know what I mean? And it's just like we know something's happening that's in our control, and it's just like all we can do is let it happen. You know? So it's like, you know, all we can do is like they're showing going with the flow. We're going to get into our channel cards. Joy is the ultimate creator. You know, we, you know, you know, just enjoying our peace, you know. It sometimes it costs you a lot, sacrifice a lot to get that peace. But it's just like when you have it, it's like you will sit there and cling on to it. So with this, these are all channel decks again, you know, but we have like, you know, watchtowers of the west. This wind is coming in, they're highlighting autumn, you know what I mean? And I just feel like this gentle change. I don't feel like it's going to be a forceful hard change. I feel like it's gentle. It's just going to come in, and it's just going to, it's like they're showing like glow bugs, and it's just like, you know, it's twinkling around, and it's just like that where the sun's about to go down and it's that orange in the sky. It's just beautiful, you know. Homeland foundation. So I feel like something is coming in this change that's going to change the foundation of the fact where, in a positive way, with no harm to none, but I feel like it's just like moving or acquiring a home. But I feel like it's like, don't rush things. You know what I mean? Don't do it out of fear. Don't do it because you feel like you have to do certain things. I feel like do the steps that you need to do, see what those answers are, and then go from there. I don't feel like you have to rush. I don't feel like you have to pursue things in an anxious way. I feel like it's just go with the flow of things and let it happen. Don't let people try to manipulate you. I love the fact that we're going into Taurus, and we have the Taurus here, you know, new moon in Taurus, but it's like prosperity lies ahead. And the funny thing is that this new moon coming up is going to be an eclipse. So it's just like thinking about it. I don't feel like we're going to have any light in the sky until the next full moon in maybe late November or December, early December. But I feel like this free spontaneity energy is coming in. Green is all about Venus, our heart chakra. So for some of us that want to love to come in, or things that we love, so like the Christmas season, maybe it's a season that you love, you know. For us it's like kind of like a love-hate relationship. It's like we love Christmas. That's why I was just like, when, like, you know, once we're like, you know, ready to put up the tree, it's like, just do it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit there and wait no more, because, you know, I know how quickly our emotions can change, you know, just because that was Shane and my dad's favorite season. And it's just like, you know, making the most of it in a positive way, but it's just like you can't help what it triggers inside of you. You know what I mean? But again, it's like soothing that inner child. It's soothing that yourself, being like, you know what? It's just like, we're going to make this the most magical season ever. And they already said that it's going to be a magical season. So what can we do to make this magical? What can we do to bring positivity in? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we got to create our own little wonderland. So we have a new moon in Leo. So confidence is the key to your success. And I feel like it's like, release all fear, worry, and doubt. You know, I love the fact that this Leo card has that, that like when they were talking about autumn, and it looks like the sky is on fire, but it's so beautiful. You know, I love like I remember driving home from my sister's, and you could just see how the sun was just sitting there on the horizon, and it looked like it was like on fire. You know what I mean? Like, I know literally it is, but it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it just looks like you're driving towards this ball of fire. It was so beautiful. It's just, when you get that orange sky, it's just beautiful. I remember when the first year we moved here, the sunflowers were in full bloom in our neighbor's yard, and the sky was this beautiful pink, orange hue, and it was just, I wish I had my phone on me, and I swear, it was just the most beautiful picture I've ever seen. It was just gorgeous, like, to see, like, the way that our farmhouse is, and it's just like this beautiful field of sunflowers, like, in front of our house, and then it's just like that beautiful sky. It's just something I'll always remember. What a beautiful image it was. You know what I mean? It's just, it was just gorgeous. So we have full moon in Virgo, and it's you are good enough. But again, with the green hue, Venus, and I feel like it's like, just because certain things don't happen, especially when it comes to love life or life period, it's like, maybe you're looking at life and you're like, you're not satisfied where you are, or you're just like, can't believe I'm in this point in my life with this going on. It's like, you know what? It was meant for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, this was, I definitely know with mine, because they've shown, even if, she had survived, he would have passed away, like, a couple months later, a couple of years later. So it's like, you know what I mean? His life wasn't meant to be long on this earth, unfortunately, which is sad. But, like I always tell the kids, cherish the time that we had with him, so that's all we could do, and just make the most of what we have left, and whatever our life is on this earth, and whatever that time period is. It's just make the most of it, make it happy. Yeah, there are going to be things that trigger us, but we make the most of it. So definitely, like, I feel like, a pillar of strength, if you look at her back, it's like she's strong. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't, wouldn't think that a woman could hold a vase of that, that size over your head. But I also feel like cleansing. So, like, cleansing yourself, or just cleansing, you know what I mean? But I feel like strength. I definitely feel strength more than anything. Show the world the real you. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes we're painted in a certain way, or people assume a certain thing because certain things have transpired in your life. You know what I mean? But be the own narrator of your own story. Doesn't mean you have to go on social media and go back and forth because that's all they want. It's like, it's I can't remember which. I think it's the Five of Wands of Game of Thrones they're showing. It's like, you know what? Just sit there and just leave the situation alone and just leave, because no matter what you say or what you do, they will never be satisfied with the answer, proof, receipts, whatever you show. No matter what you say, they're always going to sit there, and you're going to be the villain. You're going to be the C word is what they're saying. Like, you will always be that to them. You will always, you know what I mean? It's like people purposely painted you that way so they would have allies on their side. Let them have their allies. You know what I mean? Keep living your life and live in your truth. Doesn't matter what they think. Because you know what? They're going to think what they think no matter what you do. They're always going to think that. So we're going to get into our channel messages. So do new moon rituals. So they have, I know she posted it and he did it as his own video, but he gave her credit in the video, and that's where I saw it was from him. And he was showing how to use, salt and cinnamon to remove blocks, and at the beginning of the month to bring these manifestations into your life. That's something that I do that I feel like brings in positivity. I really resonate with it, so I do it. I haven't done it in a bit, but it's like you need to start doing those things. And I feel like they're saying, like, you know this works, so why not do it? You know what I mean? And I feel like it's, cinnamon cleanses and removes blocks. You know what I mean? And the salt is the purification of the situation, or like the purity of the intention. We're not wishing harm on anyone. We're doing this to bring in a positive intention for ourselves. So I feel like it's like, do what resonates with yourself. Like, I did certain things and it's just like, it didn't really resonate. You know what I mean? So they're saying offerings. So if that resonates with myself, I will put my Passover plate out and I will put offerings out to God, and I'll leave it for 3 days. And then, like they say, leave it out for 3 days. And after that, like, nobody should eat of it or anything like that. Trash, or, if I had a place to burn it, I would. So they're saying like this positive, uplifting energy. So we definitely, that's what I've been telling, especially the ones that I know that are deeply affected by shadow energy. I'm like, sit there and, get yourself prepared, like do a meditation, get yourself in a positive place for, this new moon coming up. Spirit, be open to spirit, be opening to clairaudience, clairvoyance, like be open to them coming forward and showing themselves who they are and what messages they have for you. And you know what I mean? Like I said, for me, that's like, your kids need you right now. I was like, okay, rushed home, everything was fine. I was just like, what the heck? Didn't make sense at the time. And then a couple weeks later it made sense. It's like, that's why they were like, now's not the time. Not that you're not worthy enough or strong enough, or that we don't want this in your life. Yes, definitely it could happen, but it's not the time. You know what I mean? And that's where I definitely am grateful. And the universe is reminding me when I was fixated on a situation, they're like, everything that you needed, everything that you wanted and didn't even know you wanted, came into your life for a purpose. Babysitting gave me order and structure. Yeah, we had what do you call that? A schedule that we were going to, but it's like that added something. It was bringing in income, so I felt like I was being productive. I was around young children, so it's just like, I love that because it's like we're watching Disney movies and we're watching The Wiggles, and I love The Wiggles. Absolutely love The Wiggles. Always will. I'm always a music person. I believe children should grow up in music. You know what I mean? So it's like something like watching them dance around and everything and giggle. Children's laughter, one of the best sounds in the world. So like, like that was like, watching them color, watching them grow and bloom. Like, I watched this child from like 8 months old and like he was talking and everything. I was just like, oh my gosh, look how much you've grown. It's like before your eyes, this little baby is now like, talking and, a little independent individual. You're just like, oh my gosh. Like, it was really beautiful to see. They really brought a lot of love and laughter into the home. You know what I mean? I felt like that's what, all of us needed. But it's like it gave me that structure when I needed it. And then cards came in because it was just like something like I said, I just started posting, this is a beautiful card. This is what it means to me. And it just evolved into so many different things, So, and I've met so many wonderful people through this. Some people I talk more to others. Oh, I forgot to message the other one. But it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, there's a purpose for everything. You know what I mean? I know when the time is right, this will transition to what I know it's supposed to be, worldwide in a bigger sense. And it's just like, when that time will come, the time is right, I will be traveling the world, see the places that I always wanted to visit, and just be like, my gosh, how in the heck did I get here? You know what I mean? So, positive, uplifting spirit, a lot of positive change. Stop blocking change. And again, that's with the not doing your manifestations. I know we're all busy, but I feel like, get up a little bit earlier and do it. Let the water flow. You know what I mean? Stop trying to bend the water to our whim. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Matrix when you can sit there and move the bullet out of the way so it goes a different. It's like let the water, play with the water, be one with the water. You know what I mean? Sit there. They're showing like taking a bath, in Epsom salt. Like, I love a bath. It's just like, just sit there and get, a yummy bath where you have your candles and your music, and it's just something just so peaceful and magical. It's just like, do that for yourself, This is where the Chinese oracle came in, heaven, Shen, so getting in touch with spirit, positive, uplifting music. So one song I really got into was BTS, oh my gosh, what was it? Is it Can't Stop? It's a really positive, uplifting. Every time I put that music on, my videos get flagged. Oh, so what? Sorry, not so what? I love it. It's just like when you sit there, if you like BTS, look up the lyrics in English. Like their music is just so crazy. The lyrics of it, it's just beautiful. So when they were showing the autumn card, change. But like that. Chris Brown, say what you will about Chris Brown, it's so hard to detach the music from the person. It is so hard. He came up with he already released this music like 9 years ago, but he came up with the video. But it's just like you could see the way that his eyes are rolled back in his head and stuff like that. I don't know if he was putting it on, or you could see how much he's addicted into the obsessed with the addiction. You know what I mean? It's just like, ugh. Addiction is such a friggin' miserable beast. It's like as much as you try to keep your children, your family members, your loved ones, whoever it is that you care about, even people you come across, and it's like, get away from that as fast as you can, because it's not going to end the way that you think, and it can give you superpowers. You think you're escaping something, it's just those shadows are just going to get louder. It's like your heartbeat, it starts slow, but it gets louder and louder. When you get anxiety and you have your heartbeat in your ears, it's just going to get worse. You got to sit there and cure what is making you run to that, so you don't have to run to it no more. You know what I mean? It only has power if you give it power. You know, and it's simple to say that, but to actually be in that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was talking to my girlfriend about that. It's like, that's why I always push my girlfriends and guy friends that have gone through loss the way that we have, because I do not want to sit there and see them be taken out by this. Because I know it could take people out. I've seen so many, and it's so sad to say, people that they are so aching so much for their loved one that they turn to addiction, and it's like to replace that loss because your piece of your soul is missing, and it's like it doesn't even replace your soul. It just makes you numb to it, so you don't have to feel it. You know, it's just ugh. You know, they sit there and talk about how these things cost so much on the health system, but it's like, well, you put these things out there. You know, you guys put this stuff out there that put people on it. When I kid you not, when Shane passed away, they wanted to put me on 6 prescriptions, and I said no, thank you. I'll just take my thyroid medication, thank you very much, and be on my way. There was no way I was about to freaking be a zombie through this whole thing. No way. Because I knew once I came out of the other side of it, I would feel it that much more harder. Because that's the type of person that I am. I feel things deeply. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to let that take me out. No way. These little boys came into this world because I wanted children. I wanted my own family. And I'm not going to sit there and let that be the narrative or the story of their life. You know what I mean? It's like, it was hard. But it's like, we're doing it, So it's hard, especially when you have that kind of stuff run through your family. We definitely do. Alcohol, drugs, all of it. It's like, you gotta sit there and change the narrative. Our journeys are harder. Anyone that was born in the 80s knows this. A lot of us were born here to change the generational gap. Are we going to sit there and be the change, or are we going to sit there and allow this to carry forward? You know what I mean? Like, why do you think they're educating us at such a faster rate of velocity? Because a lot of more of us are opened. A lot of us have expanded. A lot of us are growing up with parents that were those people that were suffered from those generations, and we're changing the world in the positive. So they're trying to, never mind. That's another whole nother video, but suppression anyway. But you got to sit there and love yourself enough to be like, you know what? As hard, as much as we're hurting, whatever this situation is, it will not last forever. And this is, that just it's not going to be the narrative of my story. And be that light force for others. Be an example. Sit there and it's like my life may not be perfect or the way that I want it or what it was, but you know what? I'm working damn freaking hard to get there. Whatever my story will be in the future, I'm excited to see where it'll take me. So we're gonna get into our cards. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share, comment, helps grow the channel. And that way we're reaching more of the world. So we're gonna start off with the 4 swords. Rest and rejuvenation. This is the period we're coming into. A lot of people, I know in Australia, because I got loved ones there, it's like that's their summer. My friends literally moved from Spain into, like, they were getting ready for winter, and then they moved right into summer again. I'm sure they love the summer, though, and they're two little girls, so it's not a big deal. But it's pretty, I thought it was just funny, the fact that they just moved from winter, right? Or the summer was ending and they moved right into summer again. But, it's for all positive reasons. But rest and rejuvenation, I definitely feel like, they're showing raspberry bushes, so maybe getting the last of the harvest in there, blackberries. But I feel like this is needed, and I definitely could feel it. It's like, I love having a garden, but it is a lot of work. When you have everything else that you're doing, especially when the kids are back to school, it's just like, oh my gosh, another thing you got to do. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's not bad, but it's just like, I started seeing slugs and this and that and, all this other stuff. Try to be mindful to keep the garden, lush and green and everything like that, and pulling the weeds and stuff like that. And the humidity. Oh my gosh. August was just humid month. There was no break. It was just like humidity. I think we got a break for like a night, maybe 12 hours, and then was right back into the heat again. It was just gross. So we are in a Taurus full moon. We're talking about this, lunar eclipse. And, we talk about this fire, the moon, the way that they show the moon is going to be like this blood moon energy. You know what I mean? But, very much like Taurus of the bull, we have the ram. So stubbornness, but I definitely feel drive. I definitely feel strength, I feel like when that chi comes back in, I feel like this is when you're, grounded the most. I feel like in your center, I feel like a pillar of strength. I feel like this is when you're confident. You know what I mean? Look how confident the emperor is. It's like, yeah, don't let the throne fool you. He's showing that he used to be a mighty knight, and that still lives within him. You know what I mean? We talk about that pillar of strength. I always say that to myself, Where do I get my work drive from? Definitely my dad. He was definitely a hard worker. Did the mines, did, the rails. You know what I mean? He refused to retire. So I definitely know, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like one of these things don't belong here. That's definitely me and my family. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I know that it's from outside sources. You know what I mean? And I know, but faithfulness, all these beautiful things. I know I get it from my great grandmother. You know what I mean? Where it's just like you see her in the fields, you see her farming, you see her, in her house. She had, and I was always wondering, like, where do I get my this faith from? And behind my grandmother's door, she had this picture, I believe was of the Mother Mary, right behind her door, her front door. And I kid you not, my cousin, I didn't even know we were related, she was doing some stuff for auction. And I said, can I get that? And she ended up being my cousin. And she, you know what I mean? It was just so crazy. Like, it was meant to be. You know what I mean? Like, it was meant to be in my home. So it's just like, I always wanted something like that in my home. I just never came across anything like that. And to see it on auction, I was just like, yep, I definitely want to have that in my home. You know what I mean? I feel, for me, the Mother Mary is, I feel like the ultimate mother figure. I feel like the ultimate feminine energy, very empress. For me, she's the empress. You know what I mean? This is that purity, that devotion, all of it. You know what I mean? It's like what you should strive to be. You know what I mean? As a feminine energy in this world, a positive force in this world, whatever way you recognize with Mother Mary, male or female. It's just like, you know what I mean? Whatever way you resonate with her, it's just like that, you want to be that light. You know what I mean? And that's what it's like, she sat there and was, threatened with her life, trying to protect her son. She was there until the very end. Even when he passed, she was the one that cleansed him and everything. You know what I mean? So I felt like it's just like, undevoted, love, loyalty. That's what any parental figure should be. We were earlier talking about foundation, and here's the what does the emperor talk about? The 4 pillars of the home, foundation. So they're talking about realtor. Maybe you end up buying a home. Maybe a realtor is involved in some way. I don't feel so much like a contractual, like, lawyer kind of thing. I definitely feel like in the sense of realtor. You know what I mean? So maybe you're buying an additional property. It looks like someone maybe like they have a home and maybe they're buying like a cottage or like a beach house or something like that. So touching on the Emperor, they're showing like a property. I'm not sure. They are showing. I don't know if someone had a home, like a grandparent, a great grandparent, or someone had a home there. It looks like it's right down to its foundation again. So God, with no harm to none. They're showing like a tree toppled over. Like you could see its roots, like it fell over. So I don't know if this is from a storm. You're developing a property, and then they said properties. So I don't know if you end up clearing out to the back and it leads to a water front property or something like that, but they're showing you're going back to the property. So this would be your backyard. So standing at the road, we're going back more, and it looks like you're clearing out those trees, and I guess maybe it'll lead to um, water or a stream or a creek or something. But I feel like it's just something that would be, if you remove those trees and clear it out, it would make more sense. You know what I mean? To maybe if you're rebuilding the home, build a bigger property for one. Two, they're saying an asset. Maybe end up this is like a B&B or something. Who knows? Or like they're saying a rental property. But I feel like there's something with water, a stream, a river, a creek, something. I don't feel like it's ocean, but I feel like some sort of, you know what I mean? I feel like some sort of water around there, which is pretty cool. Hiking trails, they're saying, you know, moose hunting. So I feel like it's like in a rural area. I don't feel like it's in a urban area. So we're going to justice. So we got, the two pillars. So, balance coming back in. Definitely. Oh, I lacked balance last week. But I feel like it's just like, you know what I mean? That pillar of strength, Libra, patience. Even with the Emperor. Look what the Four of Swords is saying. Lay down. Be patient. You know what I mean? Look at, wow, look at this. The ram head, actually, look at the horns. It actually looks like clairaudience, like your inner ear canal. Hearing. So I feel like, listen, I feel like it's like you're pulled to do something and it's like, do it. Now's the time. Empathetic. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's patience. Let things fall out the way. If it's meant to be in your path, it will. If it doesn't, yeah, obviously it's going to stink. But it's like, we will figure out whatever is meant to be in our path. It's like we're excited. And, and that's one thing with myself. It's like, I'm a driven force. I even showed that with the gentleman that was doing the rayon machine in the basement. He couldn't find an electrician, and I did. I called every single electrician I could find, and one of them came over. Boom, done. And I'm just like, you know what? If a man won't do it, get a woman to do it, and she'll do it better. She was down there, bibbity bobbity boop, done. She got it done. He was quite specific on what she had to do. And I told her, I said, he said, and I said, you do what you want. I said, if you don't want to do it that way, I said, I don't care what way you do it. I said, I just want it done. Boom. She got it done. You know what I mean? Like, she cleaned up everything. You know what I mean? I felt like she was more compassionate than anyone. She understood that I had to get X, Y, and Z done. She sat there, bibbity bobbity boot, done. You know what I mean? I was just like, he actually offered me a job. He's like, you're so determined. He's like, he offered me a job. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm like, I'm not bilingual. Like, he is fluent French. And I'm just like, no, thank you. What he needs, I would feel like I would be robbing him of his potential, because it's just like what he needs. I could take it so far, but he needs someone that speaks French, and it's just like fluent French. It's just, I'm sure he'll find that person, but I feel like he will reach that height, so he just has to find the right team, and she's definitely part of that. So I feel like with this, something verbal becomes contractual. You know what I mean? So maybe you go see something and you're verbally talking to it. You come to a verbal agreement and you sign a lease, sign a mortgage, something like that. More difficult is what they're saying. It looks like it's going to be more difficult because of the looming recession. Because I feel like, everybody's excited, and this is specifically for Canada. Oh, double GST, we're getting some money back, da da da. I feel like they will put us over a barrel from March till April. From March, they're showing April, early April. So I feel like they're going to be out of the house or something like that. And I feel like that's when they'll reverse everything. They'll have to take it off because no one's going to be able to do anything. They're going to see the significant financial. It's like people were buying gas when it was hard. It's like now you made it even more difficult. It's like no one's going to be able to afford it. It's just like they will feel it. They will see the difference that month makes. They think that they're going to be like raking it in. They're just like, oh, we really, you know, we instead of putting them over a barrel, we did it to ourselves. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's going to be a spring election to get Trudeau out. I really do. I feel like it's just greed, 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 tax, tax, tax. I feel like it's kind of punishment from, Her Royal Highness, because we, as a nation, we're disgusted of what would happen here with the Indian Act and the residential schools. So I feel like this is like tax, tax, tax. How did they get us back? What the only way they know they can. Like they said, she owns 97.7 of crown land in Canada. It's like, this is not even your land to own, lady. Like, it's a nobody's land to own. It's God's land. And just because you came over here and did what you did does not make it your own. You're a giver. You are a giver. They're saying, stop that. Stop that. You are a giver. You replenish other people's cups. I feel like definitely with Gemini energy, I feel like it's like you being your own best friend, healing that inner self, being your own, cheerleader. I literally always say, I wish I could clone myself. One of us could be, the nurturer and take care of the house, like I did when Shane was here. I still worked, but it was just like, not on a full-time basis or 2 jobs like I do now, but it's just like, I still did everything that I did. 6 in the morning until 9, 10 o'clock at night. Go, 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 go. But like I said, underappreciated. Yep. What are you going to do? I'm not going to dwell on that. But it's just like, if I could clone myself so I can, mother's guilt, or parents' guilt when you work and, you want to be there more for your kids, but, plans change, but what can you do? It's just like, I roll with the punches. Teaches them to be more independent, Still there to love and support them, but it teaches them, like, in the face of pushback, you fight harder. But I feel like it's like, up to a point of self-preservation, you got to worry about yourself. I definitely feel like someone's trying to manipulate and force something to happen. They're definitely going to make a move. That is selfish. Let them do it. I feel like they're going to sit there and try to manipulate you, trying to force you to do something. And it's like, don't worry about it. I feel like it'll be going into Christmas. I feel like end of November, going into Christmas, they're going to try. And this is when that sweet spot's coming in. I love Deborah Silverman, the way she speaks. She's like that secret sauce, juju, that sweet juju juice. I love her. She's such an entity. I would love to meet her one day. But it's just like, I feel like they're purposely doing trying to poo-poo on your party. And it's just like, don't let them. It's just like, control that energy. Just be like, yeah, I feel like you have something and it's like, you want to smirk about it. It's like, hey, that's okay. Keep sitting there and doing what you need to do. Because you know what? One day, you're going to sit there and be like, wow, I wish I wasn't such an A. But they'll never see it that way. Certain people will never see that they mistreated you until they have to sit there and answer for everything they have to answer for. They don't realize their karma that has happened is because of the way they treat people. But that's okay. That's their story. Let them live their story. Don't try to change people. God in the universe is showing you who they are. Let them continue on their road. Not for you. Let them go on. Move on. Move along, Satan. So not only do you fill other people's cup, but you financially support your household. You financially support yourself. You financially support others. You financially give to others. You not even take away the fact that Pentacles means money. You ground others. Taurus energy. Ground yourself. See yourself as the treasure that you are. See yourself as the energy and light force that you are. Why do people treat us that way? Because they are jealous of the way that you are. And a lot of times, People that have these amazing things do not see themselves, they will never see themselves the way that the world sees them. I feel like when you go from here, they will show you with those eyes, and you'll just be like in awe that you never saw yourself like that, because they kept you humble. Because some people are like, if you see yourself like that, then your ego gets in charge, and then that's when the shadow side comes in. So you may not see yourself with those things. I never give myself credit for messages or anything like that. I always give credit to God. It's a gift from Him. I use it properly. I it's a blessing. You know, I'm in awe. Like, I was literally talking to someone. We overpowered a communication device, and it was just like thing after thing after thing. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I my jaw was on the floor. The things that came out, I was just like, huh. Not shocking, because I know how the person is. They're just like a treacherous piss flap. You know, it's just like, ugh. It's just like they're gross. You know, and it's just like they will get grossness back in return. You know, and when that happens, I'm not gonna be. I'm not the type of person that applauds. I just recognize karma. When karma comes back to roost, it's just like, that's karma, and just move forward with your life. Don't sit there and be like, haha, that's karma, blah, blah, blah. Because as quickly as karma hit them, it'll hit you. You got to watch what you do. Ten of Swords. This is why I was saying, do not give this situation or this manipulation any freaking time. It's like, you know what? You got to sit there and, live your, this freaking thing. You got to live your life. Don't worry about don't worry about what they're doing. Don't worry about what that means. They're going to sit there and blah, 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 say their words. They always manage to put their foot in their mouth. They always manage to make their situation worse. They think they're getting one up. They think that they're doing X, Y, Z. And then your situation ends up changing and ends up being for the better. So let them say what they're going to say. We cannot control what people do. What they think, their narrative. Let them, whatever their narrative of you is, let them have it. It's just like, don't waste your energy. Put your energy in positive things. You are the Queen of Cups. You are the Queen of Pentacles. You are this force. That's why they frig with you, because they're trying to dim your light. What did they literally tell us in our channel cards? Show them the real you. Why are you dimming your light for someone else? You are good enough. Confidence is the key to success. Prosperity lies ahead. Look at all these channel cards. You know what I mean? There's a reason why these cards were all they were like, pull from this deck, pull from that deck, because there's some inner healing that's taking place. They're showing you, we have more in store for you. I was literally saying that. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what lies ahead. Look at that. They said prosperity lies ahead. Look at that. Oops. Page of Pentacles. Even though it's Taurus energy, I love the green, because I definitely feel like green heart chakra, green chakra. That as well. Venus energy. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's like, you are good enough to have positive things in your life. You are good enough to have, one thing after another. 3 weeks time. So you can take it as 3 weeks time. Today is October 22nd. So you can either take it 3 weeks time from now, or you can literally take it 3 weeks from the forecast. It's up to you. Whatever resonates with always go with your gut. What resonates with you? You know what I mean? So I feel like if you want to do it from the 22nd, that's why I'm always honest about this when I do my readings and stuff. Or you can literally do it on the 8th. So just know that there's something coming in. Doesn't mean we should go out and spend. I feel like they're saying just because someone's story is something doesn't mean yours will be, because you're two different things. We're all snowflakes. It's like, not all rules apply to everybody the same. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's their narrative. Don't go by their narrative. You know what I mean? Just keep doing what you're doing. Was I just saying? Cycle of money's coming in. I feel like you're going to have a full cycle of money. I feel like so if you're a healer, I feel like you're going to get a lot more readings. I feel like a lot of people this time of year, or gifts, they're showing like gift voucher. So I don't know if you're putting, it's like white. It's like that cardstock. I worked in printing, so I know it's cardstock. So it's like a thicker cardstock, It says gift voucher.
System
It,
armed. Say.
sorry about that. It has name, so you put their name, and then I guess it's like amount. So I don't know what this is for. They're showing $25. So I don't know if you're like doing like increments of money. I guess like that way it's like in my opinion, if you have a set price for like a certain reading, I feel like it would make more sense to do it that way. You know what I mean? If you or I understand where the 25 comes in, because then it's like you can sit there, pay for the reading, and then I guess if you want to give a tip. So it makes sense that way. The way that I do it is like they're like, I want to gift someone this. I'm going to pay for it. They'll let me know who it is, so I know to watch out for them, and they'll be like, yeah, my friend is such and such. They gifted me with a reading, and I'm like, yep, everything's taken care of. Do their reading. And if they want a tip, that's up to them. If they don't, that's totally fine. Like, I totally understand that, you know. But also, you know what I mean? Like, so that way, if you want to do it that way. But I understand where it's like, a little fun, like, to sit there and receive, like, a card or something like that, But that's what it looks like. So I don't know if that's something someone thought of, but that's what they're showing. They just usually tell me, oh, I'm gifting my friend with a reading. No problem. They come in and I just, because usually the person will take care of it. But, oh, shoot. But they're showing a cycle of your cup. And I feel like that's why they're saying I love when everything ties together. That's why they're saying do your ceremonies. I feel like, especially with Hanukkah, and I don't do Hanukkah just because it's like, oh, 8 days of gifts. No, I do Hanukkah because the thing of is like, even though her situation looked like this, and I love that song, Help is on the Way. It's just like, even though her situation, she only had enough flour for her and her son for that night, and that was it. Elijah made sure that she had food for days and days and days. Like, I think it was even months, 6 months. You know what I mean? Even myself, I could say that. Even though my situation looked like this, I was like, shit, the poop is about to hit the fan. Boom, this came in. It's like, before you even asked him, help was on the way. And I feel like I feel like in that way, but I feel like because of what's looming with the recession and everything like that, just, yes, spend what you're going to spend. I feel like you're going to be spending freely without restriction, but I feel like it's also like, be mindful of the fact that that's looming. I feel like they're going to put us over a barrel for February. I feel especially with electricity, it's going to be a colder winter if you live in the area like where it's colder. You know what I mean? I feel like it's going to be a colder winter, especially in North America. I feel like it's going to be colder. So it's just like, sit there, save for your snow removal, save for your. I feel like it's going to be more electricity than anything. You know what I mean? Gas. They're talking about gas. Food will be E. I feel like it'll be that middle ground. I feel like like I literally buy my son. He's a picky eater. He literally eats this certain pizza. It literally went almost to $10 down to, it went down again. It goes up and down, up and down. It goes between 6 to 8 to 10 back down. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, is pizza a shortage now too? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like being mindful of stuff. Be mindful what you're paying is what they're saying. So I guess maybe like coupon or something like that. But I feel like you're going to be in a good place. I just feel like it's going to be like that. I feel like that's why they're saying, sit there and do your ceremony. Let the abundance come through. You know what I mean? Like, I always clear the area. So you're supposed to do it at your front door. So I clean the front door from all the, just clean it all up, shake off the mats, everything. Put everything down nice and fresh, and do a new ceremony. You know what I mean? So it's like you're cleansing out the old, bringing in the new. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's like I've been laxadoodle on that, and it's like, let it come in. Let the spirit come in. This is very Shabbos energy. Opening the front door, allowing your loved ones to come in and celebrate Shabbos with you. So Shabbat. So it's just like, let that positive energy come in. Let it clear the house. Like, literally, we have the windows open. And it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I can't sleep any other way. Even though I wake up with a migraine almost every day for the past 3 days. Because my allergies are crazy. But it's just like, allow that cleansing of the energy. Because it's like, then soon everything will be closed up. And it's like, we're breathing that recycled air. So it's just like, embrace it while you can. Love this. You will be the victor wearing the wreath. 6 of Wands. It's like, don't allow situations dictate the rest of your life. Just because it looks like this right now does not mean it will last forever. It feels like crud when you're in certain situations, but this too shall pass. This will pass. So it's just like, you know what? Don't let this be the narrative. You know? I know, like, you know, especially with myself last week, it's just like, you know, when you feel poopy, it's just like, you know, and you can't change that situation because that's just, you know, I was cycling, I was tired. It's just like, you know what I mean? It was, my allergies were horrible. Like, I literally sneezed so hard I gave myself a headache. I've never done that before. You know, I hope and pray it never happens again. But it's just like, you know, when you feel like that, it's just like, you know, how do you recover from that? Like, what do you do to change that? You know what I mean? Like, I was taking allergy medication and everything. I just was like, well, you know? So, it's just like, don't let it be the narrative, you know? Do your very best. I know sometimes we just, you know, sometimes you just got to feel blah, you know, because that's just the situation calls for it, you know? But like I said, just don't let it bleed over. Feel it and then let it go. Don't let it grow and become a part of you. You will be the victor wearing the wreath. I feel like you will be like high on life. I just feel like that magical spirit will be in the home. I just feel like it's, you know what I mean? It's just going to change everything up, you know? So maybe it's Christmas for you. You put up your tree, you sit there like you're like our family where it's like, you know, you have the Christmas tree, you have Hanukkah going. It's a lot of beautiful things coming in. So, you know, we light our candles every night, so the prayers and everything. So it's just like, it's a very magical, peaceful time. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why people try to mess, because they're just like, oh, they're having fun. Oh, they're doing good. So let me try to disturb that peace. Don't let them steal your peace. They can only steal it if you let them. No, this Gemini is haunting me. So, you know, the answers you need are coming. The full moon in Gemini. And that's why I feel like it's like, do what you need to do. I had a bunch of holidays. I have a lot of things pending. And it's just like, okay, now they're over. Let's, you know, get it done. I will get it done because I'm a responsible person. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just, I need that time allotted to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm filming this, gotta edit it. Everybody thinks like, you know, because the timestamp is this, that's how much time went into it. It's like, if you only knew. You know what I mean? You know, that's why I kind of get a little cheesed off when they're just like, you know, when they make little snarky comments, and I'm just like, whatever. You know what I mean? I do it for whoever wants to hear it, and it's there. You know what I mean? I do it because I like to hear what Spirit has to say. I love to see what the cards play out. I love all that stuff. You know what I mean? If you want to partake, partake. That's why the timestamps are there. You don't have to listen to everything. Those things don't resonate, don't listen to it. Go directly to the cards. The cards are a little long, pause it, come back to it. You know? When you need to hear those things, they will be played for you. It was meant for you to hear it. You know? You need to hear it again, it's always there. You know? So, this Gemini, I definitely feel like it's, you know, you see one with eyes closed there, the other one's eyes open. It looks like fierce energy protecting yourself. It definitely does look like a heart shape here with their two heads. It looks like, and their hair comes together. It looks like a heart shape. You know, we're definitely coming out of that new moon energy in Scorpio, emotions. It's like, you know, let's face this new moon with positivity. You know, higher levels of thinking, Gemini. Hold your vision, fixed moon. This is the half moon. It's like, hold your vision. You know, I posted that. There's a lot of inspirational TikTok. Some of them I watch them because I love the Kiki. I love their jokes. I love their banter. Like, I started following Brian the Diamond because he's like, his girlfriend texted him. He puts his hair back, and I have like curly, thick hair like he does. And it's like, to put your hair up like that is a challenge. And he's just like, you're threatening to put your hands on my friend. He's like, we can either talk or we can zap. He pulls up both his tasers. I'm like, that is so me. I'm that ride or die bestie. I will mess you up. It's like, we will either talk or we'll tase. Your choice. It was just like, oh my gosh. Love him. Like, oh, I don't resonate with everything that he posts, but when he posts some things, he posts some things. You know what I mean? It's like, anyone that follows him knows. Like, he is, you know, money making Mondays. Love that. It's just like, You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, you don't want to get up, you don't want to go to work, you don't want to do your 9 to 5, but it's like, you know what? You know it's gonna pay the bills. So let's get up and do what you want. But I feel like it's like, hold your vision. It's like, even if this is not your dream job, do not give up on your dream. Sit there, keep on, you know what I mean? What does everyone say? You want something to make happen, you will put that determination and dedication in. You will be the victor wearing the wreath. Hold your vision. You know, love. Oh, I can't see it. Sorry. Love yourself. You know, hold your vision. Channel card. You know, angel of love. Let me just zoom out a little bit more here. You know, hold that. You know what I mean? You will be the victor wearing the wreath. Even though your vision, maybe you thought your vision would happen a lot quicker. It could have. With myself, yeah, X, Y, and Z could have happened quicker, but the thing was, I would compromise who I am. And if I don't want to compromise who I am, the path will be longer. But you know what? Just because you get it quickly does not mean it will last forever. And just because you get it quickly doesn't mean it's the right thing. You know what I mean? It's tempting to take the shortcut, but it's like, you take the longer way, you will learn the lessons you need to learn, and you will do it right the first time. You won't sit there and, you know, I have to hold true to who I am. I gotta look at myself in the mirror every day and be like, I like who you are. You know what I mean? As I know, as Shane has passed on and transformed to his other side of the life, it's like, you know, I know that we hold memories. It's not his belongings or anything like that. Like, yeah, when I see the kids like wear those shirts and stuff, yeah, it's one thing. But it's just like, you know, we you know, all the videos, all the photographs that I took. Everyone's just like, you take so many videos of photos. I don't care. What do we cherish? That is what we cherish. Those photographs, those videos, those memories, you know, those are priceless. All the other things don't matter. They're nice to like sit there and reminisce about certain things. Like, literally, I got him Ash. Living Dead Dolls literally did Ash the year that he passed. And I got it for him for Christmas. And whatever. It was what it was. But it's just like, my son loves everything that his father does. And it's like, it's in his room. It's, you know, it's there. It's displayed. And literally today, it's just like, you know, Ash was, like, you know, Shane's birthday is like literally in 2 weeks. And to see Ash again, and it's just like, you know, I know how much it means to him, so I'm just like, absolutely. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, whatever. Anyone that's gone through this situation knows what those things mean to their kids. It's like, whatever you can do to make them feel more connected, you know what I mean? You do it for them, you know? And I'm just grateful to God that he blesses me with the capability to do so. And I'm going to keep, you know, me and my girlfriend are talking about like crazy. Deep conversations. That's why those are kind of conversations I love. And we were even saying, it's like, we want to do things on our terms, so that way, God forbid, something happens, this won't happen again, you know? Because I did it on someone else's terms. I trusted them wholeheartedly. You know, sometimes I think it's like, didn't even know this person, but it's just like, you know, I'm not giving up on my vision. I'm not giving up on my dreams. You know, I obviously was given the gift of gab. So it's just like, I have a voice for a reason. You know what I mean? And it's like, big or small, whatever this turns out to be, you know what I mean? I'm just grateful for the people that trust me, you know, and they know I respect them and care about them, or else I wouldn't do the things that I do. They all know that. They know they come to me, I read to you until Spirit is just like, and when they start repeating cards, it's like, okay, they've said their message. You know what I mean? Like, I know when I can feel it. You know, I know when I'm zoned, and then I know when it's like, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like you're in a daydream, and then all of a sudden you're back to like, you wake up out of that daydream, and it's just like you could hear all the sounds around you. When I'm in my zone, I don't hear anything going on around me because I'm zoned into that. But it's like all of a sudden, like, you know, everything around you is like noticeable. When you daydream, fantasize, it's just like you're fixated on, your energy is fixated on that meditation. And then when all the sounds around you come back in, you're just like, whoa, you know? So anyone that gets a reading from me knows that. But it's just like, that's why I'm so passionate about this. That's why it's like, I treat people the way I want to be treated. I want to make sure that the way I felt about going to certain people, where I'm like, that was a waste of money. Like, what the F was that? You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to ever feel that way. And if I have, I truly am sorry, but I try to do my damn best. I don't mess around when it comes to this stuff. So, like, literally talking about your new moon manifestation, not new moon. Well, I guess, yeah, new moon, new month, manifestation, spell, manifestation. Love that crow feather. Age of newt, arch toe of frog, wool of bat, and long of fog. Asser's fork, and birds, worms, something I can't see because of the feather. Lizard's leg, and bowels for a charm of, I have no idea what that is. Powering something. I can't see because of the feather. Like a bell broth boil. Hopefully, I didn't just say something that I shouldn't be saying. But I definitely feel like it's all like that. That's what I love with the readings, but everything just is like, everything just goes together. Love it, love it, love it. Boundaries. We were literally, what's on that? Pentacle. What were we literally talking about last week about boundaries? I said anytime I get the moon card, I always feel of the wolf moon. I always feel you need to set your boundaries. I definitely feel like with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, they're showing you who you are and you need to set those boundaries. I definitely feel that. Getting into some oracle cards, I choose to learn through love. Learn to love through yourself. Look at that pink hue. Like, learn to love with rose quartz. Learn to love yourself. Look at that third eye. Unconditional love. Spirit loves you unconditionally. I am a spirit having a human experience. I'm here to get closer to love. We're here to get closer to source. Maybe this is a correction of what we did in the past. Maybe this is, I definitely believe like we lived multiple lives. I feel like a lot of us, I had this conversation with another healer, like, we're done with this earth life in the sense that we won't be reincarnated here and we're going to move on to a different planet. I know a lot of us feel drawn to certain planets, with myself has been Pluto, Venus, even before I even knew Venus was a ruling planet in Libra, at a younger age. It's just like, you just feel drawn to those things. And it's like, maybe that's where you came from. Who knows? Happiness is my birthright. We forget that. We forget that, because we grow up a certain way. We feel like, we're never destined to be happy because we've only known chaos, But you got to make your own destiny. You got to make your own happiness, Got to stop thinking that the world's going to do it for you. We got another Ace of Cups, cup runneth over. When this is posted, it'll be before Halloween. So I definitely felt drawn to this deck. I really enjoy this deck. The beauty of horror. Definitely, probably a deck my son will end up taking one day because he's into horror movies. But it's like, we keep getting this. Look at the darkness of the clouds and this brightness that comes in from the universe. It's just like, even if it's in the sense of peace, with Taurus, we see that grounding, like I said, that chi. Definitely, I feel like a meditation. That last week was just like, that's what I love about Shabbat, or even if maybe you get that like with your, spirituality, whatever the ritual is, like, with Sundays, or if it's, Shabbos, or, I know some other certain religions are on Friday. It's just like, going to the mosque or temple. It's just like, you sit there and it's just like, whatever is happening that week, we release it. When we light that candle, we say the Kiddush, we release it. We let that fire of that candle burn it up. We let that fire be that light in our week. It's like we're starting a new week where we rest, we rejuvenate, we're ready for a new week. You got to do that for yourself. Even if it's one day, do it for yourself. 24 hours, do it for yourself. You got to give yourself that rest and rejuvenation. Do the things that give you peace. We have the Emperor. Looks like Nosferatu. I kid you not, when I saw him, I definitely thought of House of the Dragon. When the king was sitting on the throne, he would walk up with his cane. I definitely thought of that. No joke. But, you know, they're saying heavy is the head that wears the crown. Look at this, you know. That's why I feel like with the Emperor, it's like, you know, even though I look a certain way, it's like don't mess with me, because don't let that fool you, you know? Don't let that fool you. I still have those, they're saying I still have those thuggish ways in me. Oh my goodness, you can take us out of the city, but you can't take the city out of us. Oh my gosh, my sister and I are so like that. It's just like, yeah. We may be country bumpkins now, but yeah, that still lives in us. You know, but I definitely feel like it's just like, you know, I feel like it's like, this is my home. Like, you are not going to disrespect my home. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like boundaries. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I say that to someone. It's like, if I went to your home and did that, you would definitely feel disrespected. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, I understand there's certain times and circumstances, but I'm just like, you know, be respectful. So we have the Hermit shine. Look, it's like ascending on these stairs. Ascension. I've definitely been getting ascension for like the past 2 weeks, and it's just like, you know, that lantern. You know, like he has like people grabbing at his back, and it's like, even though people are trying to pull you back into old ways, it's like, keep ascending. People may not understand your journey. People may not understand anything, and that's fine. It's not their journey to be on. If they were meant to do those things, you know what I mean? It's like, I follow my intuition more and more, and it's just like, I felt drawn to the Torah since 2009. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I finally got it in English, and I finally sat there and read it. It's like, you know, you read it differently every time. I've said this before, time and time again. As a single woman, as someone in a committed relationship with children, you know what I mean? As a wife, as a widow, it's just like, you read it so differently. As someone that is, you know, just trying to live a peaceful life and raise their children properly, and, you know, with a house of love, it's like, if they're drawn to it, they're drawn to it. If they're not, they're not. I don't force it down no one's throat. You know, they always say, every time we hear those certain prayers, I just play Shalom Home. I play two other ones, you know, the Yishma. It's just like, they hear it and they're just like, we know mom's going to bed, you know? So it's just like, they know that. They know what I'm reading my Bible every night and everything. They're like, that's they're like, one of my kids are like, I want to read your Torah. And I'm like, why? And they're just like, because you highlighted it. And I'm like, well, you should read the Torah for yourself. Let me get you your own, and you read it the way that you feel connected. I want you to connect with it the way that you feel, not because I feel connected in that way. What connects with you? I will give you a highlighter. I will give you a pen. You can underline passages that speak to you if you want to. You don't have to. You know, I earmarked, you know, certain ones because they really stand out to me, you know? And it's just like, when I'm having, you know, God forbid, I hope and pray, it's just life, you know, where you can't sit there and concentrate, or you're under the weather, you can read those certain highlighted passages, and it just really hits home. It just really hits you. You're just like, I understand. Like, you just get back into that energy of why it touched you in the first place, you know? So continue ascending, you know what I mean? I definitely feel like, you know, I'm looking for the card. Oh my gosh, it's all over the place. Not the world, where was it? There's so many cards, I can't find it. Here. Hold your vision. You know what I mean? I feel like if you're destined for greatness, if you're, you know what I mean, you're striving to accomplish certain things in life, it's like, you're not going to let, you know, things stop you. You're not going to let people stop you. You know what I mean? People, you know what I mean? People, places, things are going to be set into your life to stop you from achieving what you want in this life. You know what I mean? As long as you're not harming anyone, no harm to none, you keep ascending into what you feel is right for you. Strength. You know, the universe has your back. I always feel like the lion is protecting you. I'm sitting here. I have my deck right beside me. Wow. This is literally my my girlfriend's reading here. So I don't want to go through all the cards, but it's just like the strength, the sun, cornucopia, you know, door to value, door to healing and happiness. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are her cards because, you know, she was the last one I read for, but it's just like the angel of strength is right there. A lot of positive cards are underneath it. You know what I mean? But I feel like with strength, you know, definitely the lion's mane looks like the sun, the rays of the sun. You know what I mean? I love the fact that they have these mountains, and I loved what Storm said from Below Deck Mediterranean when he became boasted, and he's just like, this is this new mountain I have to climb. So new opportunity comes, you know, and I feel like the opportunities with justice, you know, sitting there, you know, I feel like they were sitting there saying that there's an opportunity coming in here. I feel like with the Emperor, I feel like it's the same opportunity or different opportunity, you know, with the Page of Pentacles, with something coming in 3 weeks' time. That's why I definitely feel like the strength card. Leave behind all fear, worry, and doubt. Even if you don't understand how it's going to work out or how, you know, I sit there and think about that all the time. It's just like, you know, thinking about different aspects about moving. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it gives me a headache. And I'm like, I'd just rather stay put. It's just so much to think about and worry about and X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So, but it's just like, I'm going to do what makes sense. Financially, logically, like, I'm not going to do things out of fear. You know, you got to do things that make sense. Ending with the Chariot, you know, with determination and dedication, we will be the victor wearing the wreath. If I can find it. Oh my gosh, so many cards. This was a definitely, like, this was a card reading, you know, right here. You know, with determination and dedication, you will be the victor wearing the wreath. You know, I feel like that with your cup overflowing, that's why they want you to set boundaries. They're like, I feel like this is why they're saying rest and rejuvenate, because you're going to have so many things going on. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like, you know, Queen of Pentacles, self-love. I'm going to make a mess here again. But I feel like that's why they're showing the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Cups, you know, sitting here. And it's just like, you know, so many positive things are coming through. And I definitely feel like last week, especially with that conflict with Pluto, it's just like something was changing. And I felt like something is coming in my path. You know what I mean? And I definitely feel like, you know, when we were talking about that fork in the road, was it Friday's cards? I love that deck and I hate that deck at the same time. It's like, it's so complicated and difficult unnecessarily, but I love how deep it is, like, at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, something I definitely want to delve into more, but it's just like, I felt like that in the same way, where it's just like these two things, these two elements were on two different paths and now they're coming together. And I saw the why, and it's just like, I see Yeshua. So I feel like God is, you know what I mean? Or divine creator, Gaia, whomever you believe in. I'm not here to push my belief system on anyone. It's like, you know, if something is coming, two paths are coming together. Definitely Gemini as well. You feel that it's like two become one, you know, in that sense. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, talking about destined to be with your soulmate. Your soulmate's coming in. You know, I feel like in love in that way. You know, so I feel like cup runneth over in that way. You know, but I feel like, you know, don't do things out of desperation. Don't do things out of fear. Release all fear, worry, and doubt. I definitely feel like, you know, make those important decisions. But with the Emperor, with justice, it's like, you know, sit there and be patient. Don't make hasty decisions. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why the Emperor is sitting there. And it's just like, you know, you sit on your throne and you're happy at your peace, and someone wants what you have, but they don't understand it. How come you're so happy but you have so little? Because it's what you make of it. You know what I mean? You buy your kids, think about your kids. They're showing that right now. You buy your kids the biggest, baddest toys. And what do they end up playing with? The box that was delivered in. You know what I mean? So it's just like, think about that of a child. It's like, it's what you make of it. You know, when they were showing those sweet moments where it's just like, you know, I was sitting there and I was talking to my girlfriend and I was pulling the curtain shut. And I saw Robin. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought they were gone or hibernating. Nope, they're still around. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why I feel like with determination and dedication, it feels tedious, and life sometimes is tedious. Things feel really heavy, you know, because there's a lot going on. And it's just like, it will eventually smooth out. It won't be as tedious. You know, just the situation you're in right now will not last forever. Keep on. Don't let it take you over. Just sit there and it's just like, you know, it is what it is for right now. It's for right now. It's not forever. It's for right now. You know? And take those steps. Make those moves to move forward in a positive way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this forecast and projections for the full moon in Taurus, November 8th, in a lunar eclipse. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next Daily Tarot card. Bye.